You shouldn't be interrupting me. Why are you interrupting me?
Being a Canadian is more important than Alberta trying to advance its own agenda.
Their jobs are going to be taken away.
Trampling on anybody. Not at all. In fact, the oil and gas industry has had more money from Ottawa than anybody else, so they can just stop.
But what about the fact that they're trying to be shut down?
Rebel News, because you are a disinformation campaign. Next person.
Do you want to refute what you think that we're sharing that's disinformation?
All the stuff you share is disinformation.
I'm here outside Calgary City Hall where a new petition is making the rounds. One that says Alberta should stay in Canada. It's called Alberta Forever Canada, and make no mistake, this is a direct response to growing Alberta independence. In fact, it was launched right after a citizens' initiative was filed to hold a province-wide vote on whether Alberta should break free from Ottawa and stand on its own in sovereignty. That separation petition has rattled the establishment, and now we're seeing the counter-attack. Former PC Deputy Premier Thomas Lukaszuk, one of the loudest critics of Alberta independence, jumped in quickly to get his petition approved by Elections Alberta. The question, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? And now with the green light from the province, his team has just 90 days to collect nearly 300,000 signatures before the October 20th deadline. This is more than just paperwork, it's political trench warfare. On one side, you've got Albertans fed up with Ottawa's attacks on our energy industry, our farmers, and our provincial autonomy. People who say separation is the only way to protect our life. On the other hand, you've got federal loyalists who say Alberta's future is tied to Canada. Why do you believe that Alberta should remain a part of Canada?
Oh, because the demographics.
No, this is Rebel News. No.
Oh, sorry. Which station are you?
I'm with Rebel News.
I'm sorry. No, I can't.
Well, I'm a canvasser, and I just really believe that we are stronger as a nation. I don't think a province standing alone has
properly introduce themselves as
Yes.
Rebel News?
Yes.
Okay, you know who you're talking to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So,
you should do.
I'm just going to let you know that I strongly believe that Alberta should remain a part of Canada.
Because I just visited Ottawa, and I was in the House of Commons in Ottawa, and I'm from Ottawa originally and lived here for 40 years, and I'm Canadian first, Albertan second, Calgarian third.
This is a wonderful country. This is the 4th Canadian province I've lived in. I love it here. I wouldn't live anywhere else. But I'm Canadian first and foremost, because where else can you live where you're so actually as free as can be? There is no other place. I've been to the Eastern Bloc when it was communist. I've been to all over Europe, all over the United States, and I wouldn't live anywhere but in Canada. And I'd like a strong Alberta and a strong Canada, because we need to pull together in order to be to play our role on the world stage, which is so important nowadays.
It's a hell of a country to live in. Very good, well organized.
Okay.
I think Danielle Smith should be ashamed of herself to stir up all the bullshit and do all the nasty things she's proposing. You know, she's hurting all sorts of people with bad attitude, bad movement, bad policies. Get rid of her, and we should stay in Canada.
I signed it because I'm someone who has been through 2 referendums on separation already, and I watched as just the threat of separation hollowed out the economy of Quebec. I watched as the Bank of Montreal moved from the city that gave it its name to Toronto, its headquarters. And I'm someone who has relatives in the UK, and Brexit has done untold damage to the UK as well. And I've done a lot of reading up on what secession does to countries, and it's pretty much never good. Even Czechoslovakia, which had what was called the Velvet Divorce, when the Czech and Slovak republics split, suffered economic consequences. So I want to see this country stay together. Yes, we have problems, but many of the problems we face, they are global in nature. The economy, housing, inflation, those are all global. And some of the problems we face right here in Alberta, like, for instance, out of control vehicle insurance rates, those are more local. Those have more to do with the policies of this government in Alberta.
Do you guys mind moving out of the way here so we can accommodate our signers, please?
Sure.
Okay. Hi.
All that other space is unavailable.
You know, it is quite interesting as we're trying to talk to some of the folks here. The organizers are coming out to them and telling them to be weary of us, but luckily we are still able to get a few interviews in here. But I always wonder when we do get this sort of treatment at events, how do they expect to get their voice out and to be heard if they're not talking to us? How do they expect us to get all sides of the story when they won't talk to us? So at the end of the day, they're only harming themselves by not getting their voice heard, because we want to bring you guys all the information. We always want to give you rounded news, and they're kind of making it hard for us to do that. Do you believe that we're getting fair treatment from Confederation?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think how this country has worked for hundreds of years is when a province we cooperate and we benefit from the fact that we are part of a nation. So yes, I believe that very strongly. Yes.
In some ways, no. In some ways, yes. I mean, every province has an argument as to why they're not getting treated fairly.
When you're part of Alberta, there's you have obligations and you have, we need to be treated fairly, but we're a big place and we need to look after ourselves. Right. But it doesn't mean that we should do this on our own. We're a landlocked place. There's no bloody way we're gonna be in Alberta, an independent country.
On that note, what do you believe about our equalization payments? Do you think that is a fair thing for Alberta to do, to send out our money?
That's enough. We gotta go.
Change is something that is inevitable. It's the only inevitable thing, right? Change. And sure, everything should be able to be flexible enough to change. But to sort of pout and say, oh, I need a Band-Aid for my knee. I fell over, Mama. That's a little too childish for my liking. So I'm tired of the whining and the moaning. Let's just get on with it and live, as happily as we can in this province and all across Canada. Every place in this country has its beauty and has its advantages. And why wouldn't we play all that up and be part of something like a big family, a good family?
So my question is for you, is unity more important than Alberta's needs necessarily?
Well, I think they're intertwined. I don't think to use the word separation, I don't think you separate them that clearly. So I think being a Canadian is more important than Alberta trying to advance its own agenda.
More of a stronger together approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say to those workers in Canada, say oil and gas, farming, or truckers that might feel like they're being treated very poorly from Ottawa?
You know what? Everybody's got an opinion, and that personally is not my opinion. I know there's a lot of people who are down. Yes, I do. Yeah. So yeah, I don't necessarily think they have a bad opinion, but I think we are better off as a nation. That's my feeling.
Workers in the farming industry and the oil and gas industry who feel that they are being trampled upon from Ottawa, that their jobs are going to be taken away.
Trampling on anybody. Not at all. In fact, the oil and gas industry has had more money from Ottawa than anybody else, so they can just stop.
But what about the fact that they're trying to be shut down?
Rebel News, because you are a disinformation campaign. Next person.
Do you want to refute what you think that we're sharing that's disinformation?
All the stuff you share is disinformation.
And an example of that would be?
Well, for example, we send a check to Quebec. That's bullcrap.
Yes, we do.
More, it's bullcrap.
Yes, we do.
It's absolute bullcrap. Equalisation, everybody pays the same across Canada. It's put into a pot and transferred out by the formula that Harper made when Kenny was in his cabinet.
Except that we give more than we will ever get back.
We don't give anything. Alberta gives nothing. An individual person, taxes all go into the same pot, whether you live in BC or whether you live in Ottawa, wherever you live, you're putting the same amount of your tax in there. It's a pot. The formula was done by Harper. You know the truth. You just do not want to tell people.
And cue to the facts. Go. Alberta has contributed over $244.6 billion more in taxes and other payments to the federal government than it's received in spending between 2007 and 2002, more than any other province. Alberta has not received equalization payments since 1965. Between 2000 and 2019, Albertans sent $324 billion more to the rest of Canada than what was spent in Alberta. And since 1957, it has cost Albertans $67 billion. That averages to about 2.6 thousand per family of 4 each year.
I got railroaded or circumvented, but I mean, everybody has the right to have their opinion, right? But we should all deal with facts. There are objective facts. There's not my facts versus your facts. We do live in a country that is constantly, it's a federation. So we're moving around. We're like a live boxer, who's looking, and we all have to work together in order to do that. So no matter your political stripe, just be a Canadian, and Canada first, Alberta second if you must, Calgary third, however you want to do it. But we shouldn't be running at each other's throats, because this is a time when we need each other, right? The world is in flux, and a strong Canada is something that we will all benefit from, and all these little things, the oil workers and the agricultural workers, to be honest, farmers have always faced an uphill battle, no matter what regime they live under. This is the first wet summer we've had in probably a decade. So, I feel for all those folks. I know, but you know what? I can express myself. Yes, and you shouldn't be telling me what I can do and what I can't do. I signed the petition because I believe in Canada. But you shouldn't be interrupting me. Why are you interrupting me? I apologize. All right. And so I'm not from one end of the spectrum or another. I go issue by issue. I'm a cherry picker, right? And I think more and more people in Canada are becoming more like me. We're tired of the rhetoric and the moaning and the whining and the infighting. Why? We should be happy to be here. This is a great place. So, my advice to all those folks who, are pulling hairs, shut up and get on with living life in a truly the most free place you'll ever be in.
Just like that Lion King music that was playing in the background, Carney is propping up Alberta as a sacrifice to the rest of Canada. Hi, I'm just
I'm not talking. I need a realtor. Would you like to sign the petition to keep Alberta and Canada?
If you want to support all of our on-the-ground journalism, make sure to head to rebelnews.com and chip in there. As always, stay strong and stay free. For Rebel News, I'm Angelica Toy. If you are fed up with Ottawa's treatment to Alberta and their policies, you can head to handsoffalberta.com and sign the petition there.